Boom shakalaka, Bitcoin bear signals, why Willy Woo called this 4 years ago, and what Arthur Hayes has to say about it. It just might shock you. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Brantley here from Crypto Love. Today's video, bearish Bitcoin charts, why Willy Woo saw this coming 4 years ago, and the shocking Bitcoin price reveal by Arthur Hayes. Before we get into it, like the video, join us on Twitter at @cryptolove, and of course subscribe to the OG Bitcoin and Crypto YouTube channel, making daily videos since today. Now, if we take a look at the markets, fear and greed at 25, down from yesterday, down from last week, same as we were last month, back to extreme fear. This is familiar territory. It sucks, but the adage always goes, buy when be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. And if you look back probably in 10 years and you had bought now, you would probably pat yourself on the back in 10 years. Now, the overall market today down 2%, Bitcoin 83,665, Ethereum 18,12, and XRP 204. And Bitcoin continuing in this downtrend. We have a little wedge formation right here. As a matter of fact, it's not exactly a wedge, it's kind of like a polygon. I guess that's what it would be. Not referencing the new name for Matic or whatever that is, but little polygon set to break out by middle of April. But the bears are screaming. Bearish charts. Anyone else confused here? Some charts say super bear, some charts say super bull, some charts say and nobody knows. I tend to go with that and nobody knows. But if we take a look here, the Bitcoin network activity is in a bear market. You can see network activity is below the trend. This has only happened historically not in full bear markets, because at the bottom people start buying, but on the way down. This is generally what happens. Are we on the way down? Well, right now, this 2025 decline in red is running exactly parallel to the 2022 Bitcoin bear market here in purple. You can see this red dotted line, which is the average, parallel to the purple dotted line. These lines are not hand drawn. These are the averages. This has the price forward all the way up towards here, where maybe we find a little bit of support. But there is hope. You know, don't go doing anything crazy just yet. Bitcoin whales positioning for uproll. Historically, uproll is when the bull run starts for Bitcoin, and then it goes sideways for 6 months, and then it continues in November. But while every other cohort is selling, whales are starting to buy. When we take a look at Bitcoin value days destroyed, experienced players have transitioned into the coin accumulation phase. Seasoned market participants who previously engaged in active selling at local peaks, denoted by the red circles, have now shifted their strategy towards hodling and accumulating, as designated by the blue circles. We also see, when we take a look at the realized cap hodl waves, that diamond hands are still hodling while new demand for Bitcoin grows. All this has the markings for an explosive run ahead. You can see when we had previous peaks, there was a large sell-off, but this is kind of capping like we saw back here with this consolidation period. And if you stick around, we're going to see why Willy Woo predicted this 4 freaking years ago. But we're not there yet, because the Bitcoin buy signal flashing on the 10-day frame. This is the Bitcoin hash ribbons. Generally, there's a capitulation in green, or maybe it's gray. I think it's gray, it's the capitulation. And then in blue is the buy. Well, it's buy signal on a 10-day. The higher the time frame, the more powerful the signal. And in case you forgot what year it is, 2025. Well, in its history, Bitcoin has been up every odd year. Is 2025 even or odd? Well, 2024 would be even, 2026 would be even. And if it goes even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, then yeah, it's an odd year. 5 out of 6 times that year's performance has been greater than the one preceding it. And, you know, except for right there, but 5 out of 6 times, that's pretty darn good. So, could be a pretty darn good year. Already had 121% last year. What could it be this year? Something even better? Look at this, 126%, very close to 121%. Look at this, 1337. We had a elite year back in 2017. Could we have a elite year once again Did anybody get that elite speak, hacker speak reference? I don't think so. Bitcoin preparing for a parabolic run. Take a look at this. Bitcoin Bollinger Bands and momentum point to major reversal in the weekly. We can see support being found right here. We can also see a local dip, and finding support on the lower Bollinger Band could be setting up once again for taking off, which brings us to some very interesting charts. Right now, based on the liquidity cycle momentum indicator here in blue, we are nowhere near where we have seen previous peaks in terms of cycle momentum. Nowhere near the peak, bull market just getting started. Pair that with what Arthur Hayes says here. Now, interesting, fun, satirical little article about sex bots. And I mean, what's not fun about sex bots? But concludes that quantitative easing will happen by this summer at the latest, and $250,000 Bitcoin still in play. And if that happens for Bitcoin, guess what? Total market cap. Look at this. It's not perfect, but it's very, very close to a giant inverse head and shoulders. And note that previously this resistance became support. Well, look at this. Resistance, kind of resistance. Resistance could potentially become support. And then it would send us much, much higher. If you need me to draw that, it would be about yay long, and it would go all the way up here. And then if we zoomed out, well, this is probably a log scale, so $17 trillion market cap. That would be huge. Holy cow. Which brings us to how Willy Woo knew this 4 years ago. I remember reading this 4 years ago, and it made sense then. But the more we see this cycle, take a look. If we zoom out, take a look at this cycle. Does this look like steps to you? 1, 2, 3, 4, just continuous steps. Does this look like steps to you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy cow, he called this. How did the prognosticator of prognosticators see this coming? Well, he called the last cycle, maybe a little bit early. He said it was happening last cycle. Maybe it doesn't happen until this cycle, but he said, what will be of this bull cycle top? In his opinion, there is no top. The past has been a predictable walk of supply and demand governed by simple four-year halving. But now there is an unpredictable walk, I would call what we have right now kind of unpredictable, of demand supply from a complex ecosystem until we hit saturation. And guess what? $1 million Bitcoin is still in the cards. How soon is the question. So that's all for this episode. If you enjoy it, watch some more videos. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
Boom. Shakalaka.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.